Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around.
All right, that's good. That's good. Now, first of all, like I said before, you gotta get out of this fear shit. They can't do nothing to you than you do yourself. You see what I'm saying? He only control he got is the perception that's controlled. All this what they gonna do. Do not give them power. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's all bullshit. They might run around this motherfucker, but they don't run this motherfucker. And until you realize that, you see what I'm saying? You're just stuck with that. And sometimes I think we get into the whole song and dance of this shit because we love that, because we've been under the foot of this man for so long. And now the only thing he's doing is selling fucking wolf tickets. You see what I'm saying? Selling wolf tickets. You see. And so that's one of the keys. Case in point. Now, this is Aset and Osar, Isis and Osiris. Isis and Osiris, Solomon and Shiva, the god Shiva and Parvati and Uma, Lakshmi and Vishnu, Rama Sita, you see Kali Shiva, you see Krishna Radha, it goes on and on, Segment and Ptah. These things go on and on. It's still talking about that male and female aspect. Now, let me explain something on what's going on here. You will have things on the physical world that plays out in politics, plays out in social, economical, psychological. And all those things might be very well what's actually going on in the apparent. But the spirit world has a whole nother agenda. Otherwise it wouldn't be. Now, in the spirit world, it means that whatever goes on the political realm, that's only an illusion. You only need to focus on the energy of it. So you know the energy of Isis and Osiris, or Aset and Osar. This is the kind of energy that permeates the physical earth. Give you some things.
Go back.
Yeah, same energy. This is the first one, right? Mm-hmm. We're talking about an image and an energy. So on one half, you got the Isis and Osiris, or Aset and Osar. And no matter how this thing came to be, whether it was the Boule, the Illuminati, or whoever, whatever it is that say that they're going to set something up, remember the spirit world is in control. So whenever they mess around with a certain amount of energy, because they bring Isis and Osiris energy together, it doesn't matter. Because they brought it together, the spirit world takes over. Now, what happened in the spring, in the last time I came? Remember I came in the spring of the year? And I watched this guy on the Democratic thing about 4 years ago, and I said, who the hell is this nigga? Like everything else. Because I wasn't into the politics. Then I saw a presentation on him on the biography channel. And I watched this thing, I said, the red flag's going on. Why are they giving him a biography? Or whatever. And at the end of the biography, the spirit interceded and go and said, hold on now. Deal with this on the heart chakra and deal with this in the realm of the possibilities of what is happening on the energy level. They can deal with all the hell they want on a physical level. In politics, it's the presidency. It wasn't designed to help you. Since when did you have any president where your life changed? You see what I'm saying? You like Bill Clinton. The only thing he did is hire some people on his staff and cut out all your programs around you, kill Ron Brown, And they say it's one of the worst presidents we've ever had. You see what I'm saying? So it's just your perception of stuff. They said when Nixon was in, we hated Nixon because he was a Republican, but they said niggas made more money when Nixon was in than any time before. You see what I'm saying? They're not necessarily saying it was Nixon, but the point I'm trying to make here is, since when did a presidency line up with the value of your fucking life? It's not designed for that. But on the other hand, they set it up that the presidency in the book, there's a book, the same people, they did Holy Blood, Holy Grail. They did another book called A Messianic Legacy. And in that book, they said that the way that the presidency was set up, it was set up to be an earthly Messiah. So whoever sits in that seat, you see what I'm saying? That's what they was going for. Well, what about if a black person sit in that seat? And it don't have nothing to do with what he does politically, because he can't do anything politically. The country is finished. They're probably handing him a doggone sinking ship. See what I'm saying? But that's not it. They probably giving it to him because of the simple fact they know it's over with. They can't fix it. The housing shit is gone. The stock market done crashed 3 times. The gas is gone. But that's not the point. The point here is what they don't realize is there's a spiritual connection, and when you line that melanin up, and whether you got doubts on him, that black sister right there, if that black sister gets in the doggone White House, it's a whole other shit. See what I'm saying? You see. And he says that's his rock. So in so many words, he's not far away from the source, so therefore the whole energy is coming through the female to the male. Just like the Kemetic thing. Who rescued Osiris but Aset? Okay? You see, so this is what's going down. Now let me explain this to you. Let me explain this to you. I went to go do a ritual on the 1-year anniversary of my mother's making the transition in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We did a major ritual down there on the beach to Yeminya and to my mother, which is called, her name is Mentep Sing Sing in her spiritual name now. So each one of your ancestors, when they get out of the physical body, they have spiritual names. They have spiritual names, and that's what you have to line up. So a lot of you all haven't really gotten and been in touch with your ancestors for the simple fact you're still trying to call something about some person when they was living in the illusionary world, and that person is gone now. The only thing is that person has a soul, and that soul has multiple lives, but it might have a new name, which is the name that permeates. So basically what you have to do is get a reading and ask somebody to have your ancestors come through to find out what their new name is, and that's how you tap into them. You see, even my mother, when she died, when she made the transition, she said, look, I'm no longer Glaciria Hemmitt. I'm Mentep Sing Sing. So if you call me by that, you know what I'm saying, I can't come by that because that particular person is dead. You see. That's just a program, an illusionary person that doesn't exist anymore because it never existed in the first place. The only thing that exists is your soul. So now, we was down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I amassed 75 Egyptian statues, and there was a tall Anubis statue, and the Anubis came through, and Pooh said, I know you're not going to leave from down here and not buy this statue, so I had to go and buy this tall statue. Put the statue up, a dog came across the street and was posing just like Anubis the day I put the statue in the house. So he came through, and we had to do a ritual for Anpu Anubis for 7 days. And then on the 7th day, on that Sunday, we had to do a feast where we had to feed all the deities. Now I got 9 altars, and it was 72 Egyptian deities alone. And that ain't including the voodoo, the Yoruba, the stuff from India, stuff from Asia, stuff from around the world, even Native Americans. So we had to fix all this food for every entity that we had in the house, and that was a hell of a lot of it. The day we did the feast, Asa Hilliard died. We said, Asa, who were you? He said, but of course I'm Anubis. Why? He said, because I was one of the people that was one of the initiators of the whole Afrocentric thing as far as the whole Kemetic thing. So we did the Kemetic thing. So what happened was that Anubis said, well, Asa Hilliard, come to find out, was a form of Anubis. But guess who brings Asa Hilliard's body back to America? Barack Obama. He dies in Egypt. Barack Obama is the one that brings the body back to America. It might have been a little boule thing, but it doesn't matter. But Barack Obama was an Anubis figure. And so therefore he took the mantle of something, and although he might not even be aware of it, because there's things that's happening in one world, and there's things that's happening in another world. You see, either way, we still talking about this Isis and Osiris energy. You see what I'm saying now? What had happened is this. Although these people have to be a certain way with the government to get to even run, they figured that this guy wouldn't last past the primaries. And what happened was the Bilderbergers gave the go-ahead for Hillary Clinton to be the Democratic nominee and the president. But what happened was but they're playing with fire because of the simple fact, they said, we'll put this Negro up in here. He's near to us, but he won't last that long. And this man done won most of the whitest states in America. That means that there's a spirit realm that's superseding the political realm. Now, and it's interesting because Valentine, I think they got a tape talking about Barack Obama and whatever he is based on, I don't know, the Illuminati or whatever the stuff is as far as the ruling powers, whether his family or whatever. But nevertheless, you can't fuck around with the spirit world because the spirit world rules this. And this is what's happening to the white boy. He can't figure out how his particular candidate is already lost. As of last week or 2 weeks ago, she cannot win the Democratic nomination. She don't have enough delegates. And she's too far behind. So the only way that she can do is to go and hope the super delegates put her in. And the super delegates say, we can't put you in because we're going to lose the entire loyal black people that we've had since the 1930s. So therefore, in order not to destroy our party, we'd rather just give it to him and we could take our chances on McCain winning. See what I'm saying? Even she is voting for McCain. Even she said that. But this is the mystery. The ancient indigenous people can see death on a person. I saw it. I said, this man is getting ready to die. So the people from China called and said, why would you run a sick candidate? So this is the mystery. He's going to have the Democratic nomination. Hands down, they already know it. So what they did was they started the Jeremiah Wright thing to weaken him for McCain. Because Hillary is already gone. Even the head of her party, even her strategists and all of them said she's already lost it. She waited too late. You see, they waited too late because if they wanted her, they should have did the Jeremiah Wright thing 2 months ago. But the spirit world made sure that he was fortified in what it was, so when they put that down, it wouldn't make no difference on the Democrat side. He already had that. The key here is with the McCain thing is McCain is not going to make it to fucking November. Therefore, Barack Obama becomes president. You see what I'm saying? Mark my word on McCain getting ready to croak. You see, China knows it. I saw it. And most spiritual black people look and see it and go, this man is a walking dead man. You know? He's not a healthy 73-year-old. You see. The point I'm trying to make here is, now what does this have to do with us in spirituality? He is only a symbol of what is going on in your spiritual lives. It has nothing to do with him as far as him, the person, being able to change your life. Psychologically, it can do some stuff. To imagine that sister being in the White House. Automatically, a nigga walking, just bumming around the gas station and go, well, I might be a bum around the gas station, but at least I got a brother in the White House. You see what I'm saying? And they are a nice looking couple. Fuck the dumb shit. You see what I'm saying? Now, The mystery here is he is only a symbol of what is going on in your lives right now that you ain't figured out. You have already got to the level of energy and power that even they can't even stop somebody from winning their fucked up primaries. That's the energy. So he is only a representation of where you are spiritually. You just don't know it yet. Because you're still looking at the people and the possibility of him being able to change your lives. And nobody can do that. Because it's, and I'll say it again, I have to say it all the time. It is not slated for you to do well on the physical earth. It is slated for you to have another reality. I can't reiterate this more. If you go back and look at all the text, and I have to say this over and over and over again, you're not going to have utopia in a financial bliss and a utopian on the earth plane. You did that shit when you was in Kemetic, when you was in India, when you was in China, when you was in all the other civilizations. You went to sleep and failed not to come back and start running this goddamn godforsaken planet anymore on the physical realm. You went to go to another reality. Now that's no more than the Sunday go to meeting Bible tell you. And they got it from us. If you don't know nothing, to sit up and think that you're going to have economic parity and a utopia in a financial bliss and black people that's going to come about and just be happy-go-lucky when you already did that for millions of years. You see what I'm saying? If you don't learn anything, this is about you going to another species, another entity, a higher form, where you don't have to take a shit, where you don't have to worry about what kind of food you can eat, and where you don't have to appease this ego. Life itself, human mundane thought itself, is the most evil thing in the universe. That is the evil. Humanity is the evil. It ain't about black and white. Humanity is the evil. And the only reason why you don't accept it is because you're on the mundane level. So don't get into the politics. He is only an ember. This image is nothing but a modern day image of this same idea that the Egyptians had before. And this idea is nothing but the two polarities of your own soul. You see? So that's what this is about. So when you look at it, that concept, then you can understand, because it supersedes what people have in their minds. Barack Obama can no bit more lead you to utopia than anything. Now they can psychologically, what that can do for black people is unbelievable. But on the other hand, you don't get the point. The only reason why you are seeing this person a footprint away from the presidency is not so he can be the president so we can show white folks. It is some indication of your own spirit rising. You understand where I'm coming from here? Are you getting what I'm saying here? You see what I'm saying? So he's only a monitor, you see what I'm saying, of something that is going on inside of you. And it is rising at a certain point. It is rising at a certain point till it's taking over the government. But it takes over the government physically. That leads to something spiritually. Obama, the OB, stands for serpent, Kundalini. Oh, it's a voodoo thing, Oba. Later on, Obia. Oh, let me read that. I'm going to document this shit. Let me document it. Document it. This is, let me get my damn glasses. This is what you got to look forward to at turning 40. OB, a serpent, a voodoo symbol for the Ophidian cult. That's a form of pre-dynastic Egypt. Obia, it's O and the Ba. You know what the Ba is? That's the soul. So we talk about the serpent and the soul. So we talk about a rise of Kundalini energy. And this is what's taking over the government because they never intended him to go this far. So he said that Jeremiah Wright was his spiritual leader. So they started looping Jeremiah Wright's sermon from 10 o'clock Friday morning to 8:30 Friday night last week, and a tornado came through. Goddamn America, goddamn America, America coming home to roost, goddamn America, goddamn America. And that energy, so a tornado came through and damn near knocked down CNN Center in Atlanta. So this is the power that he said. So now, they didn't know where it came. They didn't know where it came. The next day, they kept doing it the next day because they didn't figure it out. A hailstorm came. They didn't report on that. The very next day, a hailstorm came. And the same time the hailstorm came, the very next day, the crane fell and busted in them buildings in New York. It fell in New York. You see what I'm saying? So we're talking about there's a higher energy working here. You see what I'm saying? There's a higher energy working here. You see? And so this is the type of energy that's going down. You see. So look at it on that particular level, letting you know they don't have the power because they wouldn't dare chance their government to a nigger. Remember they said that in Trading Places? Do you think I give my family business up to a nigger? All right then. The only reason why he's going this far because they can't help it. White women falling out. He turning out stadiums. So yes. Now, is he aware of it? He probably is not aware of it. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about as far as the spiritual aspect. But I'll tell you what, I know he got a glimpse of it because when he did that fucking speech on race the other day, I said, this shit is impeccable. And this is where you know it's a spiritual aspect. Because if he was anyone like the black leaders we got before, he would have gave up and disowned his preacher. He didn't do it. Now, to keep his presidency, he had to denounce what they call incendiary statements. That's just to save some face. He is running for the president. You see what I'm saying? That's politics. But when it came down to the black community or whether he could go back to Chicago, he knew goddamn well that he could not denounce a president that's got, what, 800 members or damn near 1,000? 8,000 members? That meant that he would be denouncing the black community. And when it all came down, he said, I ain't going that fucking far. Hell no. So right there, that lets you know character. You see what I'm saying? Would other black leaders do that? No. See what I'm saying? No. So my point here is, and I think that the spirit world brought the Jeremiah Wright thing up and say, look now, you got this, but you got to tap back into the energy that brought you here. So this was a wake-up call. And so when the energy that brought him there was the black community and that same energy that he's a part of, you see what I'm saying? Then what happened was, that's when he went to the crossroads. And they said, now if you can go to the crossroads on this, you get the power behind you. And the crossroads was, you're not going to give up this man who was actually talking the truth. There ain't nothing that motherfucker said on there that wasn't true. See what I'm saying? You know, I just think that other people, like Dick Gregory, is on TV. Every time you look up, you see this nigga on TV. And he know more stuff on the AIDS thing than anything. So he could have came to my man back and brought documentation. Yes, we got Jack Feller, we got other people and different people that did with the L thing, but we are not the people that's already conducive to TV. We're not the people that they've already deemed that. So he could have went on there and they might have thought he was going to say something else and he would have brought the facts. You see what I'm saying? But we don't have people coming to the back because the simple fact here is all them niggas are sold out. You see? But, so they leave a nigga out there hanging. You know. But the point I'm trying to make here was everything the man said, and he was standing on truth. So if Jeremiah Wright was standing on truth, you see what I'm saying? He knew that he had to line up on truth, because if you denounce truth, then it's over. So he did not denounce the truth. He might have said what he did. He said, but I can't disown this man. You see what I'm saying? Because he knew that in his heart, that shit was right. Only a fool would not know that's right.
He said, my mother talked against black people. That means I would disown her.
Yeah, he said, yeah, I can't disown him no more than I can disown my grandmama. You see what I'm saying? So my point here was, there's a spiritual force going on and done caught the white man by the nuts. You see what I'm saying? He knows it. He knows it. They got to contend with this nigga. But there's the 1-2 punch. The 1-2 punch is old grandpa getting ready to bite the dust. And it's over. It's over. And if he don't bite the dust, it's because they already intended to put Obama up in there because they cutting and running. All the businesses is in Europe. He ain't doing nothing but inheriting a burning building. You see what I'm saying? But what he don't realize is it ain't burning at all. We're just moving crackers out of the way for us because there's a spiritual force getting ready to come down. You see what I'm saying? The only thing you got to do to not fall prey to it is don't get caught up in all this materialistic bullshit. When it come down, you know what I'm saying? A sandwich here and a sandwich there, a drink of cold water will suffice. You see what I'm saying? If the financial crunch come down. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas know how to survive. You see what I'm saying? A few canned goods here. Pay this bill one day. Pay this one next month. Come on, y'all know this damn shit. You experts in shit. But inheriting a burning building. So that might be the move. And that, if it became don't die, is because the simple fact here, they plan on giving it to Obama anyway, but what they don't realize is this. You cutting and running, motherfucker, you retreating. Leave it for the gods to take over. Now what's going to happen? We're not going to run America after they leave for the simple fact. We can't. We too fucking inferior. We're not inferior in the bad thing. We're inferior on the spiritual level. We have left this shit behind because we've done it for 1,000,000 years. So it's time to go to a whole nother level. That's why you can't do stuff. You remember being around when you ran the stuff. You see what I'm saying? You ran it for thousands of years unopposed. Because there wasn't nothing on the earth but you at time. So it's not that you're inferior in the bad aspect. You have left this behind. That's petty. You see what I'm saying? You're going to a whole nother level. Y'all all right? Yeah. Now look at this one. There, he doing the dance right there. Yeah. All he had to do is move them hands down a little bit further and he'd have had it. But he's trying to be decent. He got little white folks watching. You see. This is a Malcolm X shot.
But he talked about Malcolm X.
And he talked about Malcolm X in the book that Malcolm X spoke to him.
That's right.
He said Malcolm X spoke through him. I wonder what Malcolm said, but we can find that on the hookup. Because that's a Malcolm X picture there. You know this shit is scaring them. So my point here is, you can talk, yes, and the stuff that Valentine is saying is probably right. But guess what? There's one level, but then there's a spirit level and what the spirit has to say about it. This is some powerful shit. I don't give a damn what you say. You must be crazy as hell to say, even if that sat in the White House, that wouldn't be a change within itself. Yes. Yes. And melanin is called chaos, and chaos change is supreme. That's Phil Hines' book, Condensed Chaos. Or Phil Hines' book, Prime Chaos. Chaos means change is supreme. What do you mean? It creates, but it don't replicate. You create a music and you move on, and you got people doing break dancing and shit you were doing 20 years ago. You see what I'm saying? So you give stuff to the world and you go on. You give them blues and then retire from it. You give them jazz and leave it alone. You see what I'm saying? You left rap alone too. Because I don't know what that shit you putting out now. That southern shit. End of the line with that goddamn bullshit. Word. That southern stuff is end of the line. That's when it fell. I gotta give you that now. The shit from New York kept it at a certain level. Because you was trained at that level. But that southern shit, what is that? It ain't. That's some stuff that need to be at Guantanamo Bay. Because it's disruptive even if you thinking this stuff. There's some stuff that's going on with that. Now after the government done got with it. You see what I'm saying? See, I don't know what that shit is. But my point here is change. And he's running on that change thing, but he's saying a mantra. He's saying a mantra. You see? Yes, we can. You see what I'm saying? Now, before we would look up at a God in the sky, but now the gods have returned. It's us. And if you got a God saying that, you see what I'm saying? Then you got something. You see? There you go. That's his power base right there. He stood with truth. He stood with truth. And truth showed him how powerful it was when they knocked down the CNN center. You see? It don't matter what white people think. And not only that, they can be disappointed and still gonna lose this shit. Because they not together on nothing. You mean the best you got is a Hillary and the best you got is a McCain? Look like one of them cats with no hair, Mr. Bigglesworth, the one on that, you know, what's that, Austin Powers. That's the best you got? The spirit world is lining this thing up. It's lining this thing up. Show you what I'm talking about? A new hope. Now here's a Rolling Stone picture of March, and they got the damn aura coming out from around here. And they got it looking like those, that Martin Luther King on the back of the fan, and John F. Kennedy, and that Jesus. Yeah. And it says a new hope. What is a new hope? That's coming from doggone the Star Wars, the first one. Star Wars, and it was called A New Hope. That's Luke Skywalker. You see what I'm saying? Yes. There's a change coming. Hillary Clinton in the same magazine. Her last stand, end of the line. There's a spirit stuff that's happening. You see? And you know what? We know they got electronic voting. They can push a button and somebody can win. You know what? Even if he don't win, he's already won the popular vote in the minds of the people. So therefore, he did win. So they can do the thing they did in 2000. Al Gore was your president. So it don't matter. They got electronic voting. You go look at the movie Man of the Year with Robin Williams. Hell of a movie. You see, a lot of stuff going on in that movie with electronic voting. But it doesn't even matter because it's a spirit thing. And it's only talking about you winning in your spirit. This is only a projection of what's going on the inside of you. The defeat, you see what I'm saying, of this fascist pig. You see, this is the zodiac that I was telling the people to get. We still got some left. A few of them, you see, with all the Egyptian deities, the Kemetic deities. Here's two brothers. This is your original Romans. This is your original Romans. They don't even show this picture. They just snooped these pictures out this year. These are your original Romans. This brother here would be one of the original Romans. They two brothers, but they would not look like these white folks you see today. And the Greeks were darker than them. You see. Those are your original Romans. Now here's a picture of a goddess Tara, and also she's traced from the goddess Uma, Parvati, which is the wife of Shiva. And it's interesting because C. Freemanel, he lectured at a place called Culture Communication or Black Media, and that's where I started out. But we started out, the sister who owned it was called Uma. And later on, I said, well, what they said, that was one of the priesthoods that you came up under. You started out with your first lecture under Uma's house, Black Media, and so did C. Freemanel. But Uma is later on as Tara. Now, Tara was a person that was instrumental in my mother's transition. And she's doing what is called the mudras. And it's ironic because this is one of my mother's pictures before she retired from teaching. And she's doing the mudras. And the thing is, the peace sign is the mudras, because this was the same entity that was with her when she made the transition. And here it is, she's doing the same mudras before she retired from teaching school. You see what I'm saying? This is the god Malektos. This is the god Melektos, that's from Iraq, Kurdistan, the Kurds. So this is, and it's the serpent. And they're trying to go over there, and they probably building they don't know where the $3 trillion went. They're trying to build a paradise over there. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to worship him, but he's a blue god, and this is a Shiva of that particular land. Which would be Osiris in Egypt, Melektos in Kurdistan or Iraq or Babylon, and Shiva in India. Same entity, which is called Bishaitan. You've seen these before. This is the one in the book, The Oracles of the Illuminati. It was also in Eric Van Daniken's book, where they went over there trying to get these particular pictures in the Baghdad Museum. And this is a female aspect, and here's the male. Here's that same Isis and Osiris. Isis and Osiris. You see what I'm saying? Obama and Michelle entities. And they went over there to retrieve these things, trying to get a magical talisman. But the magical talisman is in the West. Somebody asked the question, what is the greatest place in the universe based on what the Egyptians say? America is the greatest place. That's right. This greatest country on earth was given to them by the Moors. The Moors saw the vision of the new lot of Camelot in the West. Osiris is called the Great Westerner. We are in the damn place. You see what I'm saying? You ain't got to get scared and run no place, because nowhere you go on earth they're going to accept your ass, especially not Africa. Let's not be funny with this mess. You see what I'm saying? Like, man, so you can sell my goddamn ticket. They ain't going to accept you there. You can't go no place on it because you are where you supposed to be. Because this is the place, the destiny in which all the ancient people saw these people in this particular land. You see what I'm saying? Saw these people in this particular land. The people, the Nagars, which was a set in Afghanistan and Pakistan, those are the same cult. Some of them still exist that said that there will be a group of hidden gods in America, and they were celebrating at 99. That's us. Now this is an interesting point here, because this is the Two Lovers Tarot card. I've shown this many times. Crawley had a vision of this, and the angel Awas put this back together. This is the lovers in the Tarot card. And what it is, it says this is the Moorish chief. This is the Moorish chief. And this is a white woman. So this is a black man, this is a white woman, and there's a union. Now what is going on here? The story was, Sheikh Anta Diop recognized it, I think in cultural, African presence. What's the one? Myth. African origins of civilization, myth and reality. And I had a discussion with a guy maybe about 20 years ago on this thing. Well, 18 years ago, it was in 1990. And it was saying that the Egyptians had something to do with the Europeans. Part of them that wasn't based on genetic, because there's two aspects of the Europeans coming about. One is climate adaptability, and the other one is the genetic experiments. Well, the one with genetic experiments, they left them up there for thousands of years. So the Moors, when they came out of the Egyptian mystery system with the last invasion of the Arabs, they had to come in, and it says right here in this particular book, one of the goals of the Moors to bring and introduce alchemy to Spain and Europe was to make a non-aberrant man. So an aberrant man, aberrant means abnormal, unusual, unnatural. So the Moors had to come in with these experiments to make a non-aberrant man. So I'm thinking Frankenstein when I read this 14 years ago. Well, how can you make a non-aberrant man if what's called it? It's simple. You put your penis in the vagina and you emit your seed. You remember they said, I think it was Paul Mooney on one of his tapes said that that old boy, what's the guy that had the radio show with the curly hair, old nigga, Howard Stern, talking about black people couldn't invent nothing. They came inventing nothing to make their hair straight. He said, I'd kick that white boy's ass if I'd have heard that. He said, yeah, we got something to make our hair straight. We'll fuck all the damn white women. And our seed will make our hair straight. So what had happened is this. The Moors, this is some stuff, and this is some stuff, it's in this book, People of the Secret, Ernest Scott. He didn't go that far. But what really happened was, they went up into Europe for 800 years, and what they did was, they used to have a form of slavery. It was like a servitude thing. It wasn't the disciple shadow slavery we have in America, but they went up in there and they got, for 800 years, what they did is they had sex and mingled with these white women to breed a seed of Europeans back into the fold of normal. So what happened was, after they were ousted, parts of the European, and one of their things was to graft out that Moorish seed. That's what your Jews was doing. Remember, Francis Cress Wilson said that they went on a campaign to re-whiten themselves, and they was getting run out of all the countries because they had that black element. And to this day, the people who know the history say they ain't nothing but some niggers. So they were like the higher thing, but there was several people over there, later on being the Melungeons and all that. So in so many words, what this is also saying is this. Now I'll get to it in a few minutes. Everything that white ain't necessarily white. They was not able to graft out that seed. You see what I'm saying? And this is one of the mysteries of the Moors. Case in point, that's Ice T. Girl, what's the name gave me this? That's a Hottentot ass. I don't give a damn what you say. I'm sorry. See what I'm saying? That's Hottentot, and that is not indicative of a mutant. See what I'm saying? Now, if her hair was not, and most blondes are not naturally blonde. So you're looking at right there is a light skin. You see what I'm saying? Like they said on Hustle and Flow. Oh, he light skinned. Ain't that a white boy? No, he just light skinned. That is not indicative of no Nordic race. So there's something rotten in the cotton going on here. They can't graft out. See what I'm saying? That ain't no injections. I don't, but this is courtesy of TJ. I wanted to show this because this one, I should have lightened it up. But this is one of the ones they don't show. They got about 5 masks, and they show most of the masks. They don't show this one because the eyes on here are human. And if you look at it, you can go into trance. And I was drawing this back in the day, back in the 1990s, and went into trance. I got a couple of pictures of it, but I wish I would have lightened it up to show you just the real contrast of it. The eyes on it are human, and they don't show this one. This is one they keep out. They show it in books on occasion. Every now and then you'll run up on it. But most of the time they keep this one out. They'll show you the other 5 masks of King Tut. They don't show you this one because the eyes, I wish you could really see it. It is mesmerizing. I might have a few copies over there, but it can put you into a whole nother trance. This is Billie Holiday. I just threw this in here because Sarnetta got a German Shepherd named Red.
No, it's a pit.
Not a pit bull named Red. So I just threw this one in there saying that obviously Billy was up on some shit, you know. How many women you know that pose with a pit bull? You see. And it's interesting because his wife, I done figured it out, his wife done got her a new child. Because his wife is defensive when it comes to that dog. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, oh no. His wife, man, this is her rock right here. You see what I'm saying? Some of y'all niggas might have to get the hell up out of the house before that dog goes. So she's real serious about that. This is interesting. I showed this in Baltimore. This has a lot to it, but one of these things, this is also the ultimate aspect of the vagina. Here's the labia, here's the clitoris, here's the tongue. See what I'm saying? So that's also has multiple meaning, but that's one of them. I had to bring that back up. You see, that's, the clitoris is up there, the labia, which is the lips, and that is actually the tunnel. And you could probably say that the head part right here would be the G-spot in the back of the wall, if you anybody study the whole G-spot thing. This is one here dealing with Shiva accessing both his masculine and feminine energy. This is the stuff happens when you start getting to a higher level. And what happens, you alchemically start changing. That's how you can get electrocuted. You see what I'm saying? And don't die. That's because you access that feminine and masculine aspect and stuff like that. Like I said, it has nothing to do with sex. It has something to do with an essence. An essence. And all. You see what I'm saying? And they say that this is why the women would fall out and go crazy over him. And that's one reason why Prince was so powerful in his days. Because you see what I'm saying? There ain't got no record of him screwing no men. He's a woman's man, but he's also feminine. And so he tapped into something to the point whereas drove people crazy. You see what I'm saying? Because he tapped into that. You know, Michael Jackson had it at the first level until he just started pruning away too damn much. You see what I'm saying? Became a freak at it. So this is, this is another one of the same God, both male and female. So these are the polarities that you got to access. You have to access. And what I'm trying to say here is it's an essence. It's an essence. You'll know it when it comes and all. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole nother realm. Now, this is what we want to get into at this particular time. And also, the sister Gina is here who had an unfortunate thing with her child, with her son that was paralyzed, I think about a couple of days after I came the last time in October. But I want to get into some things right here because this is the God Best, and the God Best represents the quantum realm, but it also represents the fairy realm. And see, we haven't learned about the fairies because what happened was white people, they took these fairy things and they put them on lockdown. The only thing how they do that, they just make them all white. They paint them all white. So therefore, you stay out of it. But the fairy kingdom is actually the ancestral kingdom, and that's where the healing gonna come from. So Best is the original fairy. You see, Best is also a Twa, which white people call a pygmy. But they call them subterranean pygmies. And there's a book, Pygmy Kitaboo. John G. Jackson accessed that book in his book of Christianity Before Christ. But it's a book where a white boy went down and stayed I think about 7 years with the pygmy, or he might be more than that, or with the Twa. And they told him all this particular stuff on how they had a civilization for the Egyptians, but they tore it down. What they was also telling them was a genetic memory bank of we were the pre-physical people. And now we exist. You have a physical aspect of the Twa people, the smallest people, but you have a spiritual aspect, and those are your fairies. So, the fairy kingdom, let me get you the name of it. About 10 years ago, 10 or 15 years ago, no, about 12 years ago, no, 1994, I was talking with the sister Rosalind Jeffries, and she said she'd been going to Africa since the 60s. So she got into some of my tapes. She went back over to Africa. She started asking them about metaphysical questions, and she was in Ghana, and they pointed to the trees, and there was little people living inside of the trees. And she asked them, well, why you didn't tell me? I've been going to come and hit them since the 60s. Why you just telling me this now? They said, you never asked until now. So, the name of these fairies or these entities are called the Motia, or the Katumble. The Katumble or the Motia. There's a book on it over in Ghana. Another sister went over this summer and they showed her the fairies. So there's a race that's living concurrently with the physical race. There's a fairy race living concurrently with the physical race. You see what I'm saying? And that's the access. There's nothing but when your ancestors go, they go to live in the quantum world or the fairy kingdom. They call them Motia or the Katum Bale. Katomble. B-A-L-Y, Motisa, M-O-T-I-A, Motia. Motia. Those are the fairies in Ghana. Now, one of the sisters I know of is called, in Atlanta, I think she's probably about 61 or 62 now. She just went back to Africa. She moved back to Africa before Christmas. Then she came back last month in February. And I said, why did you come back? She said, some little fairy people was in my room telling me to get the hell out of, get out, go home. Saying you need to be home because the shit is happening in the West. You see, it's happening in the West. Now it's interesting here. Let's see what we got here. This is the god Horus, but over his head is the god Bes. And Bes is the fairy. He's the quantum realm. He is the quantum realm. That's the realm. That's the realm in where the ancestors are. This is Josephine Baker as a fairy in the 1920s. This is the god Lamb, which is called the baby of the egg that Crawley saw. And he actually had this as an exhibit at Greenwich Village in 1919. It's the baby of the egg, which is talking about the egg head, which is the baby of the eggs is it's a form of Horus, but as you notice, they say he lightened up the picture. It would look more like Imhotep. You see, they took this picture, put big eyes on it, bug eyes on it, and that became your standard alien thing. The alien, but so if they took that off, this here represents the inner soul. It's like the pineal gland. It's the baby of the egg. You see what I'm saying? So it's talking about something spiritual, but it's also representative as a fairy type thing. So all the UFO stuff, they're actually talking about fairy and they're talking about ancestors. That's why even your boy, what's the guy, 700 Club nigga, Pat Robertson, when Independence Day came out, he said there ain't no physical UFOs. He said they're angels. And this guy wrote a book called, his last name is Thompson, called Angels and Aliens. So this stuff is going on the inside. That's the fairy kingdom. Now I'm going to show you these. These are how the spirits look. These are how the spirits look in the fairy kingdom. And this is interesting because I gave one of these to Gina, because this might be a link of healing her son, is this particular entity here. The signature, what's this thing? Signature of healing or something like that. The singers, they're called the singers of healing. So these are different ones. You see, this one here is one of the guardian of the gate. You might see some of these types of things going on at sleep at night or in visions. These are ancestors, so don't be scared. Here's some other ones. This is one for initiation. This is one for courage. These came in a vision. It's a tarot deck. It's called Enchanted Fairy Tarot, I think. But anyway, what it was is the guy that wrote, remember the movie Dark Crystal? Yeah. Well, the guy who designed that was the artist who designed that is the one who did these particular things. But they said what they did was, in order to do these, they said they channel these spirits and had them come through. And then the spirits came through and directed them on how they look and how they look. And they had certain psychics to come in and they directed it so that they could make the tarot cards. You see what I'm saying? Now they have to use white people because black people are too dead to be in certain things. So they have to use white people because white people are exposed to most stuff. You see what I'm saying? They're into the witch world, and witches is nothing but the priestess of Isis. All the Wicca stuff. You see, you go and ride around, go up to Long Island, go up to the Hamptons, and see how many people got reefs on their doors year round. The reef is a gateway to another dimension, and that's where the fairies come through. So get you a reef. Even in an apartment, put you a reef on your door. You think I'm bullshit? You say that's Christmas. No, go down to Target right now. They got a whole row full of reefs. That's because white folks know what to do. You put a wreath on your door and all your prosperity start coming in. There's several wreaths year round. You got your green looking ones for Christmas. They got brown ones and different ones. The wreath is a gateway to the fairy kingdom in the Wiccan world, which is our stuff. That's Egyptian. And their chief deity is Aset. So we talking about some stuff, yeah.
What is on the inside or the outside?
On the outside. And here's one for some reason I had this one upside down. This is one for unity. But when I look at it and stuff, you see what I'm saying? But this one here is unity, but if you really look at this thing here, if you turn it the other way, that's a fallopian tube. You see. And this is one for transformation. This is giving you a glimpse into the fairy kingdom. Yeah, the phoenix, yeah. Which is Horus, which is the soul, which is the pioneer. So these are just glimpses into this thing and all, you know. But there's books out on a field guide to fairy kingdom, to the fairy world. You go, you see what I'm saying? This is real happening stuff. Don't worry about whether they painted the pictures white. You didn't believe in it, so they believed in it. They kept the tradition going, so rightfully so this stuff's supposed to be white. Who's going to paint you and you walking around here talking about Jesus is the way. And everything else is a demon. You reject this kind of stuff. See what I'm saying? You reject this kind of stuff. Now this is interesting. This is where we get some real interesting stuff. This is the black pharaohs, which is a misnomer. All pharaohs was black. Because even if you say when the Greeks started ruling, they weren't called pharaohs. They were called Ptolemies. So the whole pharaonic line is black. You see what I'm saying? But this is interesting here because they got an exhibit down in Atlanta of this stuff. And we went to the exhibit and they had a whole thing full of best figures. And we went there, and after we did, we went to the permanent collection where they got mummies, and the mummy grabs hold of one of the brothers named Dean's leg, and he didn't tell us today that the mummy didn't want to let him up out of the spirit of the mummy. Come to find out they were consorts back in Kemetic. 2 days later, an entity called Hemmitt, H-E-R-M-E-K, came through and said, I am the risen form of Harmachis. That's the Sphinx. That's the Sphinx. Harmachis is the Horus on the horizon. So what does this all mean? It also means that that's some shit that's happening in you with your Kundalini and third eye is rising. And this entity came back and you linked to that particular entity. This shit is happening now. This is why the whole Obama thing is baffling the white boy, so they pulling out all stops. You see, they done got him connected with a terrorist guy. Not the guy from Chicago, they got a terrorist guy they're trying to connect him with. But it ain't gonna work. You see what I'm saying? It's not going to work. So there's some stuff that came up out of here because this particular entity, Uncle Nakunsu, which was the high priest of the 22nd dynasty, 23rd dynasty that transmitted the book of the law to Aleister Crowley, he has on the same panther skin as this guy. So that's a line of priests. You see what I'm saying? And they got a whole exhibit down in Atlanta with this thing. And as a result, we go to the exhibit and this entity comes up called Hemmitt, which is a form of Harmachis, the Sphinx. And the mystery of the Sphinx, they've been trying to find the riddle of the Sphinx, but the riddle of the Sphinx is us. You see what I'm saying? So this is very powerful stuff that is actually going on. It's interesting here because this particular deity, somebody said something?
No.
Huh? No. You must have heard a spirit or something. That's some interesting shit. I heard somebody holler out and you didn't hear it. That's some spirit realm. I heard it clear as day. Get used to some shit happening. I heard it as clear as day. I wrote a pamphlet called 93 AWAS 93418 back in 1994. In 1993, I met this AWAS character that looked like this particular entity. Well, right here, hold on, go back. this particular entity at the Sphinx Metaphysical Bookstore. You see, and they had been looking for this deity since 1904. They heard from him briefly in 1979, the guy that wrote the Vodou Gnostic workbook out there, Michael Bertillot, or Bertou, as it is in French. But the shit came to us. It came to us. So what happened was, I kept this undercover and taught on it in the black community. And one day the secret got out. It was around some white boys. It was Crawleyites. And one of the guys named Ramesses Bey, which is this Moore brother, he made the transition about 4 years ago. He introduced these white boys to me, and we sat around talking this stuff, all this Crawley and occult stuff. So the white boy was so baffled, they said, we didn't know black people knew this. So he went and got on the internet and said, black Thelemites, that's the people, Thelema, who was the Crawley people. He got on the internet, black Thelemites found in Atlanta, and show you how much they don't think that they have no clue that we own to something. They laughed this nigga off the internet, this white boy off the internet. They just thought it was ridiculous that no one can possibly know this particular information that was black. So that's how they think of us, and that's the way it's supposed to be. It's always supposed to be the ones, remember in the movie Doom, the Fremen, which was the Messiah people, nobody had the whole universe and nobody even knew the Fremen was there, that even existed. Well, that's how it is when it comes to your consciousness. That's why with this Jeremiah Wright thing, they got a whiff of, and that's the first level of consciousness. And they are baffled. That's why it seems so alien to them and so incendiary. We learn a new word. Incendiary is statements. You see, that's because they had no idea that we had that kind of consciousness, and that's the first level of consciousness you can speak about in church. But they were baffled with that. What do you think about people like us? They have no idea. You see what I'm saying? They have no idea. You see. Because and that's what they always do. They always underestimate us. And that's what it is. They say when they look up, like the Fremen, when they look up, they was already ruling. And that's how this thing is going down. You see what I'm saying? They have no idea that we're this far in the particular realm. And you know what? They're just practitioners. We the gods.
Thank you.
You see? So we're not talking about they got these black witch cults, and they got these people, and they got these black magicians and stuff like that. That's baby shit. We talk about getting electrocuted. You know what I'm saying? We talk about a nigga jumping through the air with a Superman cape on at the All-Star game and doing shit bare feet. See what I'm saying? We talking about them coming, Britain say, fuck it, we gonna come and take back America. They all got on planes with no passports and went to Las Vegas and packed the Coliseum or whatever they was fighting in for your boys thing, Mayweather. And they were singing this rituals, and something, and they kept saying it over and over. You couldn't even hear the damn people talk. And the ritual was, because they tried to do it with Jerry Clooney back in 1982 with Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes went in his little black bag and knocked this cracker out. But what happened was, when they checked the scorecards, they had my man winning up to that particular point, and all he had to do was just go last the rounds, and he would have won the fight. They was going to take it from Holmes. Well, with my man, they had him almost winning, and they was going to do the same thing. And now Mayweather, this is spiritual. Mayweather ain't knocked nobody out in damn near 5 years. He was just lasting rounds. So, very well, Ricky Hatton, all he had to do was last the rounds, and they was going to take it from him. So he was doing pot shots to try to get ahead on points. And then what happened? Something divine happened. A spirit came from another dimension and knocked this cracker out so much till Mayweather fell on his knees and started praying. Now anybody know Mayweather the most arrogant boxer there is. Just talk shit all day long. He fell on his knees because he knew he got help from the other realm. That's how our stuff is going. And it shocked him. Even the guy, when Ricky Hatton, when he woke up, he said it was a fluke. No, nigga, ain't no fluke. You got knocked out. Because what you didn't realize is that you could have came over here and you should have waited till you had a white fighter. But in the spirit realm, every now and then you got to realize this is still a Negroid you fucking with. So as a result, the spirit world was like, hell, oh no, you doing this damn ritual, your time is up. And something came through and knocked it out. It happened with Ali with Sonny Liston, the punch that you couldn't see. It happened with George Foreman.
Against Mike Moore.
Yeah. Michael Moore. He just tapped him on the head. Michael Moore was out for the count. It happened several times. We can even say Ali and Foreman. Even though Foreman wore himself out, but the hit that hit him over the head was just a punk ass hit. He just fell on the ground. There's some stuff that intercedes spiritually. You see what I'm saying? That intercedes spiritually. Now all of a sudden, there was no champions, heavyweight champions left that was black. Right. And then now you got your boy Samuel Peter became one of the heavyweight champions from Nigeria. And the first thing we got was, that was fucking Ogun rising up. You see what I'm saying? Ogun rising up. You see what I'm saying? That was Ogun rising up. So that's some major stuff. Let's see what else. Let me see. Here is the staff of Hermes, which they say this is also representative of Jesus on the cross. You see Jesus on the cross. You're going to get a lot when you get this book right here. They're going to break down stuff. The secret source. This is excellent. This is where these pictures are coming from. Here's another form of Hermes with the lamb. So a lot of this stuff that was iconology that later on was attributed to Jesus was actually predates him. Also even with Hermes or Tahuti and stuff like that. So this is the Kundalini energy, but that is still showing you the Christ energy. How much time we got?
You got another about 40 minutes.
Oh shoot, we need to go into a question and answer to get the ball rolling. Because I never get a chance to do that.
You might as well finish that off because it's not that many slides you got. Yeah.
Let me see. Some more?
I think that could be it, right?
Okay, then let me see. Okay, this is interesting here. Now this is coming from, if you notice my tapes, I used to talk about this a lot in the 90s. It was also in the movie Event Horizon. What is the shortest distance between time? What is it? What is the shortest distance between time and space? Is a straight line or something like that. They say, but if you can take a straight line and bend time, you can fold time and come through with the event horizon. You can go straight through and fold time. Well, this is what this is. This is universe A. You go through a black hole. You come out universe B to the other side. Instead of traveling, you loop time. Well, here up here, they're showing this up here in this particular Egyptian boat is saying the same thing thousands of years ago. But to get this particular thing, you need to get the movie Event Horizon. Who was the author on Event Horizon? The same driver in Event Horizon, the captain of the ship, Lawrence Fishburne, later on became the same captain on the ship in The Matrix. The black man is the Event Horizon. See what I'm saying? You just forgot about Event Horizon because it came out the year before The Matrix. You see, Event Horizon came out in 98. The Matrix came out in 99 and became real popular. You can barely find the Event Horizon on DVD now. But the mystery here is the driver of both ships was the same Morpheus fella that was in the Matrix series. You see what I'm saying? What other movies where they create a wormhole and slide through? Couple things. Huh? Deja vu. You see, this is stuff that can go on in your mind. This is stuff that can go on in your mind and stuff. And this is some stuff that obviously them cats in my backyard is going through time and stuff. Or those particular tigers in that zoo did the same thing when they walked through those walls. But now these wormholes and stuff, they're opening up automatically. Now, I tell you this story that I tell all the time about a sister. She's probably in her 60s now because she was in her 50s or late 40s in 94. And the story was when she was a little girl, she used to work for Nina Simone. And Nina Simone had came down and she was buying a lot of my tapes to take back to see Nina Simone. Nina Simone was very conscious and stuff, you see. And so she used to be a nurse. They got a lot of these people, they be nurses for them when they're on the road. And so she said, I'm taking a lot of your tapes back to Nina Simone. She want to see them. And she used to tell me this story about when she was a little girl. She used to sneeze and disappear. And it got a little legendary. The black community in Georgia was coming by to see him. But her mama and them prayed the Lord to take this away because they knew as soon as the white folks found out about this shit, the government was going to snatch her up. But if she could sneeze and disappear, that meant that this was one of the abilities that we used to have that we lost. So a lot of this stuff is not no miracles or gifted, the gift. A lot of these things that people have that we are baffled is nothing but the senses that we lost over the thousands of years. You see what I'm saying? So now if she could sneeze and disappear, you see, then it's possible that the scenario when I told you that we now know that they could get in a pyramid in one part of the earth and they could get in the pyramid in Kemetic and end up in America, in Mexico, with the Native American mounds. Anything with a pyramid shape. And there's a guy named Bob Breyer who wrote a book called Egyptian Magic. He had a special on, there's more pyramids on the earth than you think. He went around the globe. And it's literally hundreds of them, if not thousands. Hell, that's 80 in Nubia alone, between Egypt and Nubia. So they could go in the pyramid, and the pyramids with ancient airports. That makes so much damn sense. But if a girl in the 20th century can sneeze and disappear, you know damn well the Egyptian priests can create enough polarity and enough force field to transport people all over the planet. And that's some profound shit. You see what I'm saying? That's profound. You see, so this is the same kind. This is coming from William Henry's book, The Gateways or something of the Blessed. And here's the last picture. We want to show this again to reiterate. They ain't really get that, what they think about you. Here's the people from Katrina, black people Katrina, and on the back of a truck. And here down here, the same people they rescued in Katrina, here go the dogs sitting back on the doggone airplane. What is wrong with this picture? They on the truck, and they said, fuck that, we gotta go get them dogs. And they put them on the doggone American Airlines. It's amazing shit.
Questions?
Yeah, let's go into the question and answer right quick.
Hit that light.
Let's go into a question and answer right
Hit
quick.
the light, brother.
You know, it's never enough
Question
time.
number 3.
Yo, Bobby.
Yeah.
You know who might have manifested as a god as Nina Simone?
Huh?
You know who might have manifested as a goddess for Nina Simone?
I know she wrote a song on Damballa. And Dambala's wife is Aida Wado, which is a form of Urzuli Danta. She's probably a form of the goddess Urzuli Danta. Urzuli Danta was the dark-skinned goddess. The same, there's a dark-skinned goddess and a light-skinned goddess. Urzuli Frida and Urzuli Danta. What she wrote on Damballa and Aida Wado, we know now, is nothing but the serpent form of the Urzuli. So she was probably a Urzuli figure. Or the African Venus. Urzuli is the Venus. The African Venus is that dark-skinned sister that I was selling a couple of years ago. You see what I'm saying? She's a very conscious sister. But you can call on her. She told me when she died, or when she made the transition, to get some of her music and invoke her. You see what I'm saying? And you can use that energy, or you can invoke her for helping and healing. Give me some questions. Give me some questions. No questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, how do you learn of the Eastern, like you said, the Nina Simone transform? You said James Brown represented this
Hanneman, yeah.
of Asia. Like, where do you research that?
Well, see, that you can research, but when you deal with say, then when you get into the spirit realm, this stuff comes by spirit guides, spirit people, that even comes through you. So this type of stuff, I stress a lot of research, but then again, there's the realms where the research can't come by way of books or whatever. It has to come from the psychic realm or the spirit realm. And basically, this is it's not a very hard science to do. Here again, it's just some stuff that we don't practice anymore. You see what I'm saying? Like I say, we can get in touch with our ancestors. We try to call on them in their past earthly incarnation, and they don't be those particular deities no more. And they don't identify with those deities. You know the picture that I showed with my mother sitting at the desk with her hands up? We put that picture on I got 2 pictures of her that we put on the wall, but it was just one of her when she was a young girl, a young lady, and one when she was probably in her 40s, early 50s. And she identifies those as an image of a woman that identifies a goddess. But when I put the one where she's sitting at her schoolhouse, that identified occupation and that identified a certain incarnation on the earth. And she knocks it off the wall each time I put it there, near those. Now I could put it in another room, but she knocks it off the wall when I put it near those particular goddesses, saying, this is not me now. You see, this is not me now. It's just like when Malcolm X movie came out and they had a Nation of Islam and people arguing over was Malcolm right or was Elijah Muhammad right and all this type of stuff. When we tapped into Malcolm X, I said, where are you now? He said, I'm with Elijah Muhammad. So there's a whole other world in the spirit realm. He said, us people in one particular, he said the scholars hang out together, the revolutionaries hang out together, he said the singers hang out together, and they are more like muses, entities, certain types of spirit realms and different levels. And they have very little to do with the politics on the earth, and we down here still bickering over stuff like that. And in the other realm, they together. They're all one. They're all one. Give me a question. Mm-hmm.
You talk about the chocolate, right? The
Yeah.
dark chocolate. You said it had melanin in it. How does that affect the white people? I mean, how does the melanin?
Well, that's why they gravitate towards it.
I mean, how does it?
Well, it just will give them a boost. It's more like the Red Bull for them. You take for instance, but it does heal a lot of them too. They said that a lot of white girls at NYU used to get into the dark beers. You see what I'm saying? For some reason they was trying to identify with the dark man or the whatever. But with them, they get a boost from it, like Red Bull or whatever type thing.
So it gives them energy.
Yeah. Give them energy and a lot of stuff like that. But like I said, that one I just said, I bit into that. I said, man, I'll never eat no more Hershey's as long as I live. To get the real chocolate, the stuff, they just let that shit come from Europe slowly. But that was a part of it. The kings and aristocrats held on to the secrets of chocolate. And what happened was, they got a simulation version of it in America, which was the Hershey's and all that, and we've been going with that old shit, the Mars and all that old bars and all that. That ain't the real stuff. Like I said, this stuff I tasted at this Rita's Poet, I ain't never tasted that before, and I'm 46.
Now, because I was born and raised in England, and I always tell everybody the chocolate here is different.
Different, right.
It's not the same.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we got another one from the UK up in here. You see. Yeah, that's it. But you used to that. We been duped on Hershey's and all that stuff. But the real stuff got melanin in it. That's why they say that dark Negro. Why you go that Chocolat movie and you see them with the 2 black people in France pushing the stuff in at the beginning of the movie. And that mythology they tell where they got that stuff from the Olmecs. They call them the Mayas or what, the cacao, that's the Olmec shit. That's melanin. Give me some questions. Yeah.
Is Barack dealing with something to do with Sufi? What is the name? Rock is up.
Yeah, what's that?
You talked about biology and other immortals in the
Yeah.
East. Are there any immortals in the West, and what is their purpose?
Yeah, there's probably immortals and stuff all over the world. You see what I'm saying? Whether you know about them or not, you see. And then again, on the other hand, sometimes it might not necessarily be feasible to have immortals when certain systems die down and they're not going to have enough people to leave the stuff behind with anyway. And that's what happened with a lot of things in the West. A lot of that got wiped out. See, the thing with India, which is so unique in any place on the planet, is India is the only place that has an ancient origin that can go back to, on the level of a Kemetic, that the people still exist. Everything else is died out. You see what I'm saying? As far as the actual systems. That is the reason why they couldn't get to India for years. And then by the time they did start going to India, the white man was civil enough to want to try to collect and try to study the cultures other than wiping out the cultures. Let's say if they would have got to India in the time when Columbus, when he was trying to get there, then it would have been a different story. They would have been trying to wipe out stuff because it's all about the Christian stuff. But but by the time the British actually came and invaded, they were at a certain level of a mentality that they wanted to study stuff, and that's the way the spirit did. They preserved that in India so there we could study it. You see what I'm saying? That's the only reason why Egypt went ahead and expired. They said, well, no, we got stuff hidden in India and even in Cambodia that now we can expire. And then the Moors took all of that out of Egypt and gave it to the Europeans to civilize them to the point so when they did go up into India, they would want to study this stuff. But all that is the same people. It's a Kushite people. Drusilla Dundee Houston's book, Wonderful Ethiopians and the Ancient Kushite Empire, all that's our people. You see what I'm saying? That's our people. Out of all the systems and stuff, you can't really get, all systems are fragmented, but the one that's most intact on the planet that didn't deteriorate to that point is the stuff in India. Now, don't mistake the Indian system and the gods and all that with the people. The people, you see what I'm saying, that's a whole other thing with the caste system and all of that. But then again, on the other hand, they made sure when the people got to that particular level, the knowledge was already preserved. You see what I'm saying? Some of the biggest races on the planet is East Indians. But then again, you can't equate the modern Indian with all the stuff that they got, because that was coming from the black man and the black woman. You see what I'm saying? And the Dravidians who were still oppressed. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, so
God's children, that's what it translates.
Okay. Yeah. And you might have a connection to it.
The chosen people.
You might have a connection to it. Well, no more chosen than you are. No more chosen than a nigga from Alabama.
I don't mean in that respect, just in terms of the caste system.
Oh yeah, they're the chosen people of that land. You are right. Yeah, as far as the caste system, you right. That up there is looking like Elizabeth Taylor compared to the one, you see what I'm saying, that's looking like Michelle Obama. They are the chosen people. They are the original people of that particular land. You see, of that particular land. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Give me some more questions.
I associate different friends and family members with different gods and goddesses. So I want to know what kind of responsibility comes with.
Well, if they dead, they just a sleeping Buddha. Ain't no sense in even burning up no energy trying to associate them with them. If they dead, you let the dead lie with the dead. And one of the most things that you can get into as far as stopping you dead in your tracks and fucking you up is when you get into this thing when it comes to family members. If you got a family member that's down, well and fine, but if you got a family member, run from them. And do not make the mistake to try to turn them on to consciousness. That's a bad mistake. Because them family members will whip your ass side your head. Because if you ever want to get a person to get zombie-like, fuck with your family members. And even Daoud standing back there had a tape where he talked about that on how when they want to hold you down, they'll incarnate two fucked up family members in there just to hold your light down. You see what I'm saying? That's why that family thing, if they conscious, fine. If not, run from them. But we get all sentimental trying to teach them something. You don't teach brother, sister, mama, none of them nothing. A king is without honor in his own home. You see what I'm saying? So you might love them, but don't make that mistake. The family member is the buck stops here when it comes to them. Because it'll have you crazy. And it's interesting because I was in a lecture one time and a girl was kept crying and crying and crying. And I'm like, what? She said, we had an aunt that would say all that shit you saying. And we thought she was crazy. And we got on her so bad and called her crazy, so one day she did go crazy. Family is fucked up. That's the most fucked up shit you got down here is family. Your family is the people in this damn room. The people on the frequency, but not a person that just came through an incarnation to get down here with some genetic shit wrapped around slime. Family is fucked up. You see what I'm saying? You shouldn't deal with them no more than you can spit out them. They say, do not count yourself amongst them. You see what I'm saying? Now you might be lucky to have some brothers and sisters. There might be some things like that in a certain amount of consciousness, but that's rare. Usually it's one per every 20 niggas walking around your neighborhood at the family reunion eating them damn hamburgers and them hot dogs. You be the only one. Maybe two from another distant part of the thing. You see, so that's one thing. So don't waste this energy with with the slime and the garbage that you call your brothers and sisters and your mama and your daddy. Might just be scum. You see what I'm saying? And you ain't never figured out why you fucked up. You ain't figured it out yet. Because you still trying to get your family down with it, and that's not what it was. You just incarnated in there to get down on this planet. But it don't necessarily mean they're your brothers and sisters. They're your brothers and sisters, let's say from 1 to 18 in the rearing process. And then after that, them fucking strangers. Them strangers. First thing you do, you die, you leave your money to them assholes, and they go through it in a month. One nigga left his brother $50,000, but he drunk it up in a year. That nigga drunk $50,000 up in damn near a year. You say that's impossible. No, you must don't know niggas. That's another invention. I'm just mad I wasn't along with the party. That nigga must have had a Rick James shit going on. I'm just mad I didn't get down with that Rick James party. That nigga drunk that $50,000. He had some fun doing it. He might not remember it, but that could have been a hell of a party. This brother hit in you. What's that?
The theories that you were talking about earlier, are those the same entities from the book of Water and Spirit from Mother?
Yeah, that's the same stuff he's talking about. That's the same thing he's talking about. Those particular ones. Yeah, that's the same thing. Let me tell you. Yeah. This sister here. Okay, you had your hand up first. Go ahead, brother.
Thank you. You was gonna say that I was reading the book of Coming Forth by Day.
Yeah.
It says Amun-Ra, it's either that or the Husia. It says Amun-Ra sends the guilty to the fire of the east and the vindicated to the west, to the beauty of the west.
West, right.
And you said that America.
Yes. The word Egyptian in the latest, the Faulkner's books that came out in 2004, the word Osiris or Osar, another word for that is the West. Osiris is called the Great Westerner. We are the Osar. And the land of Amen is supposed to be, Amenta is the West.
What's the Nawus?
Huh?
The Nawus.
The Nawus.
Patah turns the Nawus into the Amentah.
Yeah, but see, you're talking about something that could be, Matab is talking about a creation period. But ultimately it migrates to the west. So we end up in the west. We went by way of the book of the law, the book of the dead. We are in the west.
And also in the Pakistan, it says that in America we have the highest inclination from during the summertime, like on the planet. And it says it's the temple.
What makes us the most important is this. And the West could be the whole Western Hemisphere. So we got to, it could be, because we do know now, let me give you something, let me tell you something that happened. Marcus Garvey and whatever, and the people that's in the Rasa thing can understand this. When they said look to the east for the coming of a king, Haile Selassie was only the sign of the coming of the king. The people were the Western people, and the Messiah of that particular realm was Bob Marley. Now let's break it down. You think you can go to the depths of him? That nigga killed his mama to spite you. No. You think you can match wits with that, man. We don't even think on that level with you. That guy, they transported them dogs and put you on the back of a truck. You get that white boy. So, you know, but you know, you know what I'm saying. But my point here is illumination. We've been saying it over and over again, man. You're going to, that's what the whole DNA and heart palpitation. It's not to become a human from the 1930s. You're not going to become another Louis Armstrong. See what I'm saying? He was a person to get you some doggone well. You see what I'm saying? And he was the ultimate drunken master. He grinned and everybody thought he was Uncle Tom. But you know that most of the terminology, the cats, the cool shit come from Louis Armstrong. And that nigga smoked herb to the day he died. And tried to legalize it with Harry Truman. He was an enigma. You see what I'm saying? That nigga was fucked up every day. You see what I'm saying? Damn it, that greedy was about. You see what I'm saying? What's that, sister?
I have one question and then something to share with the family. You were talking about death earlier, dying, coming back to life. I have had that experience. I hit my funny bone, which, as we all know, is quite a painful experience. But this experience was such that it shot me straight out of my body. I lost control of my bodily fluids, boo-booed on myself, urinated on myself, no heartbeat, no pulse, drooling, eyes in the back of the head. Now, I had gone to a place where I was with beings that I was very comfortable with, and we were having an excellent time. I felt good.
You must have did, because I got aroused by listening to your bodily fluids. Wow, that's some candy shit right there. So that must have was a spiritual experience. Yeah, but I understand where you're coming from.
And then I remembered where I was and brought myself back from that place. And everyone around me was freaked out and completely. This isn't something that I share with people, you know. But I feel like we are.
But that's good. That testimonial, yeah. I'm not making light of it. That's really powerful.
I feel like, you know, there are some beings that we cannot always communicate with, yes? Some things that happen to us that we cannot share with other people, right? And because we are all sharing the same light within the same space, I have the opportunity to open the floor for others to release those things and find some sort of balance and information. You understand? We have these experiences that are inexplicable as gods and goddesses as we move into our light state of being, as we move into our light. Yes? And so with that experience, I remembered where I was and was able to bring myself back from that place. But pain is a vehicle in which to transcend time and space.
Well, you know
and that's the point that I wanted to make.
Well, you know, one thing, sister, you talking right now, some people might go, wow, she's going on, but guess what? That is indicative of the fairy experience right there. I mean, your mannerisms. That's what, you see what I'm saying? We got to let go of this. That's indicative of the fairy experience. Let me give you an example. I was in Indiana, and this sister had a little Down syndrome boy, and she was trying to make sense of it. And I said, that boy there, the spirit told me, I said, that boy there is in two different worlds. You call him the Down syndrome, that motherfucker special. He in the fairy kingdom, he in the spirit kingdom, and he's living between two worlds. And right then she realized that the baby was not afflicted, but special. If only she just studied what was going on. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. We got to just give up and stuff like that, yeah. And like I said, and just lose it on all forms of ego and stuff like that. You know, I'm to the point right now I don't have no scruples. None whatsoever. No scruples. You see what I'm saying? No scruples. If I can get away with cutting off a fart up here, so be it. Don't judge me.
What do you think of Janis Joplin?
Janis Joplin, like I said, she had tapped into something. You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, look, there's a book called The Covert War Against Rock and Roll. White boy wrote it.
Yes.
He said, when they die, they kill. He said, don't let nobody fool you. He made the case for Jimi Hendrix, and he ended his case with Tupac and Biggie. But he went through the Brian Jones, Janis Joplin, Bob Marley, Van Morrison. He said the government got a history of bumping these people off, black and white. You see what I'm saying? And whenever, you know what I'm saying, black and white, they got a history of bumping these particular people off with the talent and stuff like that. You see? And you know, so yeah, so don't let nobody fool you. They all got taken out. You see, they all got taken out. Even your boy, they say they threw his ass out a window. Hathaway. He jumped out of damn way. They threw that nigga out. That nigga wrote a song called The Ghetto. And one day our people will be free. What all that kind of stuff that nigga was dealing with, they throw that nigga right out the window. You see what I'm saying? Hell, Jim Croce wrote Bad Leroy Brown, talking about a black man on the south side of Chicago, and plane fell right out of the sky. Neil Wilkins's book Luminoid talk about that. Your plane fall right out of the sky. That was the #1 way they killed your ass in the 60s and 70s.
What about Aaliyah?
Huh?
What about Aaliyah?
Oh, Aaliyah. They said that Aaliyah didn't even die then. They just had a plane crash. They said they used her as a sex thing, like the guy Quaker Mutua talked about, how they could take a young girl and put him in the bed with an old man. They used her. She didn't make the transition till she was strong enough. About like 4 years later. Yeah.
So they just had her like.
They had her she was 22, which was my at the time, and they had her as that thing to suck that energy.
She played Akasha?
When she played Akasha, they set up the template. They set up the template for that. So whenever you do these roles, that's like a ceremonial thing that you become that. It's like initiation. And once she did it, she became that particular battery for about 4 years. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. They used her as an energy thing, the right thing, and all like that. You see what I'm saying? Until she finally made the transition. Yeah, this brother here had his hand in you. What's that?
This is 2008, and we're getting close to 2012. What's your take on transition around like that? There's a guy. He's got a DVD out called. He's got the right attitude on it. He's got a book out called Secrets of Alchemy. He's got a book, a tape out, Secrets of Alchemy. I can't think of the guy's name. He wrote a book called The Great Cross of Henday. Anyway, his book, Secrets of Alchemy, he said it. These things come in seasons. The 2012 will be a season that even the Mayans, when they calculated it, they understand time, and they understand that the time is false. So they will calculate something that is set as 2012, but it will be a season more than it'll be just that date. Okay. You see what I'm saying? You see, more than it'll be just that date. So there's shit that went down in the millennium, but if you're looking at the date, you see what I'm saying? You'll be a little disappointed. So I have learned to understand the season. We're in the season, but I'm quite sure when we get to that date on 2012, there's going to be a lot of people disappointed if we get to that date. But it's the circumference of a season, and we're in that season. You see what I'm saying?
One more question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
There it is.
Oh yes.
Bobby, when is your next lecture?
Yeah, we're gonna do one down in D.C. on what's the date?
May 3rd.
May 3rd in what's that?
Bowie, Maryland.
Bowie, Maryland.
Yes.
We're gonna have Brother Azazel is coming on down there too. So we're gonna do that on what's that? May 3rd.
May 3rd.
So down in Bowie, Maryland, on the outskirts of D.C. So what you want to do is Azazel. So Azariah will actually have the stuff, and we're going to do with that and stuff. So we invite you to come on down. We'll have people vending and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah.
All right, with that said, let's give it up.
Yeah. All right. You're still welcome to get some Zodiac.
Yeah,
some other things we got there.
Get to play, and we can't do any lectures. Just like Paul Robeson, I'm blacked out. So, if you're interested in consciousness, give me some Federal Reserve notes if you can. If not, don't worry about it, but pretty soon you won't have any anyway. It don't mean a thing. So, you know,
Yeah.
be blessed one way, be blessed